Hi guys, it's Attorney Goff. This is our Bake and Sip, right? So it's the first one we're doing. A lot of people say, hey, look, you must be bored. No, I'm actually very busy. However, I mean, we're working from home, so it's nice to kind of, have fun with it, see what we can do. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I love to bake. There's a big running joke is that one day when I retire from law, I'm going to open a bake shop and call it Brookies Cookies, right? Because it's fun and it rhymes and it kind of is really, it's really funny. It's been a joke forever because I love to bake and I like to make cookies especially. And something some of you guys might not know about me is I'm type 1 diabetic. So I can't really, I don't want to say I can't eat them, but I don't eat the cookies. So the big running joke is I make them so I can get everybody else fat. I'm known for a cookie. It's called s'mores cookies. Okay, huge. Everybody requests these. Especially during this COVID situation, I've been dropping them off at people's homes, like our friends around town. I leave them at the doorstep and run, and it's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it a lot. I know that the recipients enjoy them. So I thought I'd do something fun. Again, welcome to my kitchen, right? You've seen my living room, now you've seen my kitchen if you've seen my videos. And do it, so we'll walk through it. Trust me guys, it's a recipe you're gonna want. These are highly, highly, highly requested all the time. Friends of mine that might be watching this will tell you that these are second to none. People ask me, what do you do? How do you make them like that, etc., etc. And so if you just watch what I'm doing, if you want the recipe afterwards, I'm happy to send it to you. No need to take notes or anything. Let's have a little fun. I have my vino here, a little bit of wine. Favorite wine of mine is Freak Show. It's a Cabernet. And you get it at Costco, it's like 20 bucks a bottle or something. But if I'm gonna drink a wine, it's gonna be a good one. I don't drink often. So, okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make these things. I'm gonna walk you through it. And obviously, we'll kind of go at a slower pace. And then I'm gonna, as they're cooking, because you have to see the end result because they're awesome. We will talk about some personal injury workers' comp, okay? A big subject right now is obviously COVID, how it's affecting personal injury and workers' comp. We'll talk about that when the cookies are cooking. I'll give you my tips on the cookies when they're done. And I know it sounds stupid, right? Cliche, cookies, she's making cookies. Trust me, these are the best cookies you're ever gonna eat. And after you see them, you'll understand. And you need to take my tips because I've probably made these like over 100 times. And you learn as you go, just like anything else when you bake them, okay? All right, so firstly, s'mores cookies, right? What do you need? So given that I am not the best planner when it comes to presenting how to make cookies on the air, my wife had told me to put these in bowls, so I did it. So I pre-measured everything. So again, I'm gonna send you guys the recipe, all right? But let's just talk about what goes into it first because it's a two-step process. Flour, all-purpose is the best. I've tried gluten-free, does not work with this recipe. Do not waste your time, don't waste your money, don't waste your flour. You need regular sugar. Don't use Splenda, guys. Splenda, Truvia, trust me. You're talking to somebody that uses Splenda and Truvia all the time. These cookies not come out well, okay, at all, period. So do not use those. Brown sugar, again, regular, not the Truvia, not the Splenda, the regular brown sugar. Graham crackers, I usually use Honey Made. This is like my tried and true. You can pretty much use any brand. I think all graham crackers taste the same. So what do you need to do it? The graham crackers have to be ground, coarsely ground before you actually do what you need to do and mix them with the dry ingredients. We have a Vitamix. We have this like attachment. This is not it's a typical attachment that comes with it. It usually comes with a 64 ounce. This is a 32 ounce dry grinding attachment. And this thing is awesome. Fits right on the Vitamix. And let me tell you, it grinds much better than the bigger ones. The issue you run into with using a bigger one is, unfortunately, it kind of like kills it for lack of a better word. So the small one kind of morphs it a bit. It's made for dry ingredients and it's much better. I can't tell you how many of these I've actually broken is the problem, right? So I have broken the bigger ones trying to move it around because it's too big. And by doing that, I've broken these, and these things replace, not this one, but a 64 ounce, like 150 bucks. So again, get the small one. I think this is like 60, 70 bucks at Bed Bath & Beyond. If you want one, we're at Vitamix.com. I use a KitchenAid. You can use anything. You need a mixer for this recipe. Trust me when I tell you, you want a mixer. I tried doing it by hand. It doesn't work. You need the consistency because you're going to definitely want to have it blend by itself for a while. And when it's doing that, I'll talk to you guys too. But you're definitely going to want to use, it doesn't have to be a KitchenAid. I don't know, Walmart's got them for like the Hamilton Beaches for $30. But you're going to want to use just a regular mixer, and it doesn't really matter what the attachment is as long as it's not a bread hook, okay? All right, so first things first, all-purpose flour. You got to mix the dry ingredients first, and then you're going to do your wet ingredients in here, then you're going to add your dry ingredients after you morph your wet ingredients in here for a while. So big white bowl. Again, I got these at Costco. I love Costco, one of my favorite stores in the entire world, and if you bake, you'll understand. Flour. So this is a 1.5 cups of flour. Now I want to tell you something about this because people that bake will understand this. I've tried it. If you measure a 1.5 cups of flour with a cup and then a 1/2 cup, it comes out different than if you measure it with a 1.5 cup one of these. I always tell you, get the 1.5 cup one because it comes out the best. Trust me when I tell you, when you put two of them together, it throws off the recipe, and it's probably throwing off your other recipes. You might not know it. It's a pain in the butt because 1.5 cups are not really standard, but I would tell you order one at Amazon at $2, right? So you're going to take your flour, throw it in here. Ground graham crackers, okay? A 1.5 cups of coarsely ground graham crackers. Absolutely need to have them. Again, you're gonna grind them in here. You can buy these at Costco, like $4 or $5, guys, for like 5 boxes of them or something. So you're gonna grind it up. You're gonna, again, don't use the 1 cup, then the 1/2 cup. You're going to use your 1.5 cup, okay? You're then gonna take it and you're gonna add it to your flour, bam, okay? So I'm gonna try to come a little closer so you guys can see what it's supposed to look like after the fact. So just bear with me. So I didn't measure out yet my baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon. I love Bob's Red Mill products. They're not paying me to say this, trust me. If they were, I'd tell you, but they are not. I find them to be awesome. They're super convenient in these bags. They open and close. And they stay out of the way, and they're not big and bulky boxes. So 1/4 teaspoon of that, and then we need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I don't ever use a knife to measure out unless it's a big thing to measure out. I always use my eyes and my finger because there's never a problem. See, it goes a little more heavy. There's never a problem with a little extra salt in anything, right? So I usually go like this. If I'm way over, I don't do it, but here we're not. We're good. So you add that all together. I'm a big wooden spoon person. I didn't get that out yet, but I'm a huge wood spoon person. My grandmother was Italian. That probably has something to do with it. So I always use wood spoon for everything, and you're just going to want to mess this up. Do not skip the step of mixing this. Because if you skip that step, you're going to have the flour and the mixture when it goes in here is not going to blend well and mesh well with this. So just mix it easy. Should look like this, right? I'm going to walk over to the camera and show you guys. Should look like that. Just regular. Make sure it's mixed. Make sure it's like white and brown so it's all mixed together. Again, coarsely ground graham crackers means you're going to find a few, not big pieces, guys, just a few bigger pieces than normal, okay? That's all you need to worry about, all right? So mix it up, mix it up, mix it up. Done. Easy, right? So my favorite part, I love these cookies so much, and other people do too, because there's a lot of butter, all right? And good. Guys, what cookies do you know that are not good that don't have a lot of butter? All cookies are great that have a lot of butter, all right? So butter is actually a great binding agent. A regular recipe, and this is what I'm saying, listen to me as we go and I'll send you my version, has a stick and a half. I put 2 sticks in. It makes a big difference with how the cookies look at the end, and it gives you crispy edges and a soft middle. So you're gonna take your butter, obviously, you're gonna put it in your mixer here. So it's really what I use, just in case people are wondering, is I use a 1/2 pound, because each of these are 1/4 pound, so it'd be a 1/2 pound. And bam. And then you're gonna add your second stick. My favorite thing to do, I get so much, I don't know, I just like doing it, is mixing butter and sugar because it forms like this whip and it's actually very cool. I tend to Google things when I don't understand them. I've always been that way. I think it's made me a better lawyer because I'm not too proud to Google things and see what's going on. But I try to see why ingredients have the reactions they have and what they do with one another. And by doing by letting the butter and the sugars go longer than normal, I literally let them go for like 4 minutes. The whippiness of the butter and the sugar is going to bind better with the dry ingredients after you add the eggs. So you're gonna add half a pound of butter, which is 2 sticks, okay? And you wanna cream it with your sugar. So here is 3/4 of a cup of white sugar. Guys, Domino, $2 sugar at the grocery store is fine. Throw that in, bam, okay? You never wanna miss any, so if there's some stuck at the bottom, make sure you take care of that. I love brown sugar. Why? Because it's sugar I can have, and when you're diabetic, you look for sugars you can have that don't raise your blood sugar. And I love the smell of it. And honestly, I think I would eat brown sugar over white sugar if I had to eat something, melted on something. I just love brown sugar very much. So again, you're gonna take that, another 3/4 of a cup. So what we have in here now is we have half a pound of butter, so 2 sticks. Soften, by the way, guys. Don't melt it, it's not gonna come out right, trust me. You have to soften it. Leave it out overnight. I know it's a pain. Leave it out overnight. Then you have 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, then 3/4 of a cup of cheap Domino sugar, okay? I always put this on low speed. I don't really put it on high speed because I let it go forever, all right? Now, when this is happening, after this step, we're gonna add vanilla, we're gonna add eggs after I'm happy with the consistency, and then we're gonna add some chocolate chips. So, firstly, I also bought these at Costco if you guys can't see them. These things are awesome. So these like sit on my counter, and I keep all my s'mores cookies ingredients in here. So my marshmallows and my chocolate chips, and it's fantastic. Is anybody drinking wine? It's $5.15. So you guys have to, I can't be the only one drinking wine when we're doing this, right? So, and I'm telling you, this Freak Show wine is fantastic. So, so here's the best part. So one of the random people that are watching this now, you guys, I'm gonna send you a bottle of wine, all right? So we're gonna chit chat afterwards. You're gonna give me your address, and I'm going to send you a bottle of my favorite wine, the Freak Show, and then you can tell me what you think. If you don't love red wine, just tell me. I'll go with white, but I assure you guys, I was not a red wine drinker myself. This wine is fantastic, and red wine is proven to be better for you than white wine in many ways. Some people are allergic to tannins, I get it, but just FYI, red wine is great. So what we're gonna do next, I'm gonna grab my cutting board, and I'm gonna split up the chocolate. I am a chocolate, I love chocolate, okay? But here's the thing. I'm super picky when it comes to making stuff, like me making this now. And, hold on. All the way? Okay, so apparently I'm sideways, so I have to turn the phone. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'll fix it. Hold on, guys. Facebook didn't tell me this, so I thought I was just on there normally. How's that? Is that better? Good? Everybody can see me better now? It's okay? I mean, you're not gonna have as wide of a view because I had it on wide, but can you guys see better now? Just give me a thumbs up or say yes, something. Okay, good, thank you. All right, so chocolate, right? So I am super picky when it comes to my ingredients for things. I think that you need to do it right or you don't do it at all. And with this particular recipe, Hershey's works the best. So I will tell you, I've tried other chocolates. It just doesn't taste as good or the same in my opinion. Again, that's just my opinion. Some of you guys might disagree, but Hershey's is the best, my opinion. So Hershey's, you're gonna break it up, but you're not gonna like shave it or anything. You're just gonna break it into like coarse pieces, all right? So open this here. So if you, each one, in a Hershey bar, each one comes in like little sections, you're gonna just cut that in half and go here. And you usually wanna do this when this is all mixing in your stand mixer. So you just continue just cutting these in half. Just literally always break them in half and you'll be good to go. And then you need mini marshmallows. Now you can buy these at any store. They're literally like $1.50. And I'm telling you, you can make these cookies actually very inexpensively utilizing just the regular ingredients, all right? So again, you have sugar, you just have flour. I mean, you could probably make these cookies, honestly, for $10 or $11 and then make like a bunch of batches after that. So we're just gonna continue breaking it up. It's not where it needs to be yet. So again, you want like a whipped consistency. You don't want a grainy consistency, and you also want it to like form together but almost be fluffy. So think of it like the difference between buttercream frosting and whipped frosting, right? Buttercream is still whipped, sort of, but buttercream has that higher, the look of it just isn't the same. And it doesn't taste the same in my opinion. The fluffy frosting, or the marshmallow frosting as most of us call it, we usually have a much better success with because it's easier to manipulate when you're frosting things, and it also tastes better in my opinion. Some people love buttercream though, so it really just depends on what you like, I suppose. Alright, so I'm going to continue breaking these up. How many of you guys are working from home? Are most of you guys remote yet? I mean, I know all the non-essential businesses are like, include pretty much everybody at this point, are essential, but are some of you guys working from home? A little thumbs up if you're working from home. Are you ready to go back? You're homeschooling your kids? By the way, kids will love these cookies too, the best. Let's just see what's going on. Yeah, it just has a little bit longer. So our son is 7, and we've been homeschooling, and I always said, when I was growing up, oh, it'd be really cool to be able to teach kids one day. Well, I definitely didn't miss my calling because my son would tell you I'm probably not the best at it. We try super hard to do the best we can, but the kids are bored because the schoolwork that the school gives you to give to them it's very minimal. It's not enough. So you're going to want to just measure out, a few marshmallows. I put 3 marshmallows and 2 pieces of chocolate in every cookie. I'll get to that. We're almost there on the mixing here as well. Pick it up a little bit. Yeah. We're just about, let's see. We're just about there on it now. Yeah, the consistency's good. And guys, look, I wash my hands as I go. You need to too. But the biggest thing here is there's nothing wrong with like touching things to feel consistency. You can't always just see it, right? I'm always like in my stuff. Why? Number 1, it bakes, so it's not a big deal. And number 2, I wash my hands. I'm gonna wash them again after I'm done here. You just continue to wash your hands and you're fine. It's people, like you watch TV and people are baking on these shows sometimes, they're not washing their hands, they're touching everything, and then they present it to the audience, and you just kind of cringe a bit and you're like, you didn't wash your hands. Especially now with everything going on. You definitely want to just make sure you're as sanitary as possible. Because, you have kids and other people that are going to eat your stuff, and you want to just make sure all is good. So my blender just went a little off the key, so I just want to make sure I fix that so that before I get this going again. Hold on a second, guys. Let's see. See, big expensive blenders have issues too. Hamilton Beach, they probably don't even have these issues. All right, there we go, perfect. All right, so it's good, it's fluffy, that's exactly what we want. So we're gonna put it back on, and you're gonna wanna do a teaspoon of vanilla, so measure that out. I always have a super heavy hand, guys, when it comes to vanilla. Always have a super heavy hand. I love vanilla. It tastes amazing and everything. I don't know about you guys, but I love vanilla. It's like one of my favorite ingredients to put in anything. So I always put in the teaspoon, and then I put in a little more, all the time. All right? Then you're gonna wanna do the eggs. So 2 eggs. And again, you're gonna wanna let this stuff blend together, guys, before you do anything. Throw those in there. Let it kind of just hang out by itself for a little bit. So let's talk about personal injury and workers' comp for a minute, okay? Firstly, let's discuss how healthcare workers are contacting me around the clock. And again, this is driving me nuts. How healthcare workers are there we go, perfect. Perfect, thank you. All right, there you go. Now you don't have to hear that noise. How healthcare workers are contacting me around the clock saying that they think they've been exposed to COVID, or they know they've been exposed, and they're trying to talk to their employers about it, and their employers are like, we don't want to hear about it, come to work, you're not getting paid. That is horrendous. I'm so embarrassed at that point to be an American, to be honest. It's absolutely terrible. I'm not saying don't go to work, you're a healthcare provider, of course we need you, but I mean, come on, the government's out there, everybody's struggling, right? You have mortgages, you have student loans, I get it. But I mean, these people are out there on the front lines. Where are the bills so that these people can get hazard pay? I mean, really, these people should be getting at least a 25% bump in salary, at least. They're working 12 hours a day, they're out there, they're killing it, and they're doing the best they can to take care of all of us. But the government, I haven't seen one bill come across that even deals with this issue, which is very sad, and it's maddening actually, because many of you guys work very hard, and you definitely, sorry, I just want to move it down, you know, so clearly, and then to have these people not even be able to get time off without being threatened that they're going to lose their jobs or not get paid is just ridiculous. It's something like I've never seen, guys, I have to be honest. And so that's not limited to them though. Guess who else is going to work, guys? Your grocer, your banker, your gas station clerk, your takeout and fast food places. I mean, these people are all out there and they're risking their lives every day. And the fact that I'm getting these calls saying, hey, look, well, my employer says if I don't go to work because I think I've been exposed to somebody, I'm not going to get paid is just disgusting. Not to mention the workers that are saying, my employer, one of our employees was, his wife tested positive. My employer didn't tell us, we found out down the grapevine, what do we do? It's scary. It's crazy, it's horrible, it's ridiculous, it's disgusting, and it's greed. And I hope that people can take this time when you're out of work, and please, we'll start looking for jobs because they're going to come back. The economy's going to come back. And when it does, you're going to see your employer's true colors here. My staff has been working remotely since March 12th. Health over wealth. That's my hashtag. I had talked to other attorneys about it. They're like, how are you affording to do this? And I said, we invested in technology early, so this wasn't an issue. It was a very smooth transition, and if you're some of my clients on here watching, you guys know that you guys wouldn't even know that we're remote. And so strategically. And that's key, okay? That's key. So my heart goes out to you guys that are, there it goes. Housekeepers, exactly, yes, housekeeper, everybody that, pretty much in Connecticut, everybody's in essential business, but housekeepers, anybody, others, that goes out to you. And those of you working from home, the struggle's real. You have little kids, they're running around the house, you know, it's a lot to deal with. So again, my hat goes up to all of you guys. But we're holding it up over here. We're fully functional, still 24/7, still texting, still calls. Like I said, my clients don't even know that we're working remotely. And I'm proud to say that because I worked hard to make sure that would happen. All right, so another sip of wine, and then we're going to attack the ingredients of it. And so just so you guys remember, this is the wet ingredients from initial, the sugars, brown sugar, white sugar, half pound of butter, mixed. Let it get nice and fluffy. Then you're going to add 2 eggs, a teaspoon and a half of vanilla, and then you're going to let it mix again. Now I'm going to bring it over so you guys can see the consistency. But the consistency is like amazing. And I'm going to grab my little scraper, and then you guys can see it's literally, it looks like, it looks like almost like, the wrong word's pancake mix, but it looks like a frosting. Like my mom used to make a peanut butter frosting when I was growing up, and that's kind of really what it looks like. But let me just show you what the consistency is. It's so light because it lightens everything. So see guys, it's so fluffy. Like look how easy it moves around. I'm barely touching it, okay? So there we go. So now we've mixed all this together. What next? Well, what next is we need to add chocolate chips. The recipe originally called for a cup. That is not enough. Take my word for it, it's not enough. Here's my 1.5 cups. So what I do is, I don't really measure it out at all. What I do is I take my thing of chocolate chips, they're on my blender. You have to put this on too, guys, because it's gonna get a little big. And then I add them in. And I just add a few to get it going. Okay? Just add very little. I don't even measure out how little they are. Then, so now that you've done this piece of it, you're going to add in, you can hear the mixer because it's stressing out because I don't have it up high enough. So if I put it up 4, it'll be better. You're going to add in your dry ingredients, all right? So this is the graham cracker, the flour, the salt, and the baking powder. You've only added a very little bit of chocolate chips, so you just got to add enough to get it going. It stops, actually, the reason why I do that is it thickens it a little bit, so it stops the powder from the graham cracker and everything from blowing in your face. And you're going to see that you're not going to see much of it blowing around. It took me about 30 makes of these cookies to figure out, like, what can I do? And then I was on a blog, and somebody had said that they made something similar, and that's what they did, and it worked. So I'm just slowly putting it in. Don't dump it in, guys. Just slowly put it in because your fluffy mixture that you've made won't absorb it as fast as if it were like a buttercreamy type. So just put it in slow, nice and slow. Make sure you get it all in there. See, you can see it blowing around a little bit. You should have seen it when you didn't do it this way. And then just give it the last boom. And then you're gonna leave it alone for a minute again. And the consistency right now is like awesome. It's actually, this could be a good batch. You can tell because it almost looks like an oatmeal raisin cookie consistency. It's not, but it almost looks like that. It's gonna be a really good batch. So I'm gonna leave these for about a minute. So what my thought process is I'm gonna get these, I don't grease my cookie sheets, guys. I use ungreased, so I use the all-clad non-sticks. These are awesome. I love these. I got these for Christmas. They're my favorite. Cookie sheets, you get what you pay for. If you're gonna buy a cheap one, it's gonna last a very short period of time. If you buy one that's a little more money, it's gonna last a little longer. I'm also a big proponent of these guys. I'm sure most of you have these or have seen these. Cookie dry, can you see that yet? Cookie dry, well, they call it drying. It's really not drying, it's just cooling, but I call it a cooling sheet. So these things are awesome and they're super cheap. You can get them at Williams Sonoma, TJ Maxx when the world comes back to normal for, I don't know, a few bucks or something. They're not that much. So you're going to, you're going to have a non-stick cookie sheet always. Do not use grease with these cookies. They won't come out right. You want to get crisp edges and a super, like, just done middle. And how you do that is by using the pan here and also by using the extra butter. That's going to help with that. So we've really mixed this up quite a bit. I always just clear, and I mean, I'll bring it over so you guys can see the nice dark brown. The dark brown is because of the graham crackers. The graham cracker makes up half of your base here, which is totally cool because it's so different than flour. It makes them a little stickier when you put them on the cookie sheet, but it actually works out pretty well. So, and guys, share this video. It's fun, you know? Everybody should be having a little happy hour, glass of wine. And like I said, somebody from here is gonna be chosen. I'm gonna send you a bottle of wine in the mail. I'm not gonna send it. I'm gonna send it through wine.com. And I'm gonna send you a bottle of this freak show that I'm drinking because it's one of my favorite wines. Share the video, invite your friends in. It's fun. You know, it's a little something different on a Wednesday when you've either been working from home or wishing you were working from home because you're out braving the elements. So I always say, scrape down the sides, then give it one good thing. Now, I will tell you this with this, guys. The chocolate chips make this thing go crazy, so just get ready for that. I just kind of measure them in as I go. I would say I put in roughly, I don't know, maybe a cup and a half or so. I like to put in a lot because the cookies are s'mores cookies. They're chocolate. That's good. So I didn't have you guys up here well enough apparently. So hold on. Which was actually working very well. And unfortunately, the Facebook Live won't let you record sideways, which kind of ruined that plan for me. So see how like thick this is? It's so thick that, I mean, can you guys hear the mixer? It's like on number 2 and it's trying to power through and it can't. So it's just gonna mix the chocolate chips a little bit more. And that's what's shaking the phone because the mixer's having so much trouble. Hold on, guys. I'm just gonna, there it goes. There we go, perfect. That should give you guys a little bit of a better angle. Next thing I make for you guys, I'll have this part figured out. All right, so we're pretty much good at this point, guys, okay? What's gonna be done is done. And I'm gonna bring you over so you can see the consistency again because these cookies are awesome. So let me just bring these over so you guys can see. And because I pre-prepared, I have my chocolate already mashed up over here, and I have the marshmallows already out. So always preparation with making these is key. So let me bring the bowl over so you guys can see the consistency. It's awesome. They're nice and thick and awesome. So do you guys see that? So look how thick this is. It literally looks like an amazing cookie dough. And that's exactly what you want. You want it so that it's like sticky, but not, it's just, it's awesome. So, so this is what we're gonna do. You're going to roll them. This tripod is driving me crazy, guys. Sorry. You're going to roll the cookies in little balls. Okay, there we go. Sorry, guys, again. Just forgive me. There. You're going to roll the cookies in little balls. How are you going to do that? Well, easily. You just want to make, you're not going to pat them down like normal cookies. So sometimes when you make cookies, they say to pat down the cookies so that the tops are flat. You don't want to do that. These cookies are going to naturally go down on their own, all right? So take off your rings because these are sticky. And you're going to want to throw 12 on a sheet. And I should have told you this, but I set the oven's just about ready. I set the oven at 350 for bake. Do not conventionally bake these cookies. It won't work. Trust me when I tell you, it will not work. So literally just roll them out. Nice and easy. Bam. About the size of, I don't know. You guys can see that? Not very big. I would say maybe an 1.5 wide, 1.5 by 1.5. You're gonna want, you can get 2 batches out of these, and like I said, they're hearty cookies, so you don't want to make them too big because they're super, super hearty, and they're very filling. So a lot of people, if you make them too big with all these accoutrements that go in there, they won't finish it. So you're gonna want to roll out 12 of these, and then what you're gonna want to do, I never put 2 cookie sheets in the oven together because they don't bake right. You have to adjust timing and everything else, so I just don't do it. So I do 1 batch, and then I do a second batch, and I'm always prepping the second batch when the first batch is cooking. By prepping, I mean doing the rolling out and putting them on the tin, okay? All right, so you're gonna bake these for about 10 minutes, and they're gonna look like they're raw, like they're not done. Trust me when I tell you, you're gonna be like, my stove must not work the same way as hers does because they're raw. They're not. You're gonna wanna take them out after 10 minutes, and then you're going to want to put, which we're going to do together, where you're going to want to put 3 marshmallows in each cookie and 2 pieces of chocolate in each cookie, obviously spaced out appropriately. All right? And bam. So that's the first batch. So the stove's just about there. I'm just going to carry these over and grab another sheet so I can prep the other sheet. Again, another all-clad. These things are awesome. Again, all-clad's not paying me to say that, but they are awesome. So, guys, let's talk a little bit about, I've been talking a lot about comp, which I'll get back to in a minute, but let's talk about personal injury cases, right? Accidents are, what does COVID mean for your personal injury case? Well, what it means is that your case is pretty much stalled in time if you have a case that's in litigation, all right? The insurance, I've talked to a lot of insurance adjusters and insurance companies. I'm settling a lot of cases in a great way for money, for good money. I'm not settling it because, oh, okay, well, now we have this COVID thing, we have to settle it. They're paying good money on these files, a lot of money. So this is the time to settle. If you have a case right now and it's with another attorney, you're going to want to call your attorney and be like, are we ready? Is this a possibility? Can we try to settle? This kind of a thing. I think that I've never seen, other than like right around the end of the year with the tax reasons, and insurance companies want to settle the way they're trying to settle now. But I will tell you, it's beneficial for you guys as claimants and or plaintiffs to try to resolve your cases because right now, the courts are closed. Your cases are all pretty much for personal injury, third party, not comp, stalled. No hearings. You guys are turning on the TVs. You're probably seeing the courthouses are closing one by one in the areas that are most affected. Your cases are literally standing still, guys. There's nothing happening. So you might not have that option. Maybe your case just happened, which is no big deal. That's likely won't affect it that much anyways. But the courts, the court's scheduling orders, trial scheduling, trying to get everything scheduled is at a halt, okay? And that's scary. It's scary. I've never seen it, and many attorneys you talk to have never seen it. So just understand that in the personal injury realm, being third party, if you have a court case, your trial is likely going to be continued. If it was scheduled for any time in the next 60 days, your pre-trials, your status conferences are going to be continued, but it also gives the insurance companies a reason to try to want to settle it, right? And that's key. Like I said, these are sticky. You don't want to wash your hands. So right now is the perfect time that your attorney should be trying to work with these insurance companies. And if there's a chance of settling your case prior to litigation, now's the time to try to do it. All right? So that's pretty much all I can say on personal injury. I mean, like I said, the cases, this is the time to settle. If you get in an accident, this doesn't mean don't retain a lawyer. Get your lawyer. Get your lawyer. This is a perfect time. You can use Zoom. We're using Zoom to have video conferencing with new clients and or existing clients. This is your real opportunity to talk to a couple attorneys and make sure that you're making the right choice for yourself. Make sure you feel comfortable. If you've been sitting on your personal injury case, not sure, oh, I don't want to do anything, or maybe I'll wait for the insurance company. I mean, now's the time. Talk to a lawyer, right? And I'm not saying hire one. If you are convinced that you don't need a lawyer, that's fantastic. That's fine. Great. That's good for you. However, that doesn't mean you still shouldn't know what your legal rights are, right? I do this all the time. I do it. I mean, all of my conversations with you guys are free consultations, as you know. Most attorneys are. If they try to tell you that they don't give free consultations, I would probably try to run, because most attorneys do offer a benefit to you. All right? I'm just going to unplug my mixer here and move it so that you guys can see the cookies when they come out, and then I can tell you about pressing them. So just give me one moment. Let me move this over here. All right. So I'm a big clean up as you go person. I never attended that way. So I'm just going to clean up a couple of these things here to get them out of the way so that you guys can continue seeing and see what they look like and see what I'm doing. Stove's at 3:35 now because I turned it on late. So just give it a moment. It'll be done. And then I'll throw my first batch in. And then we'll talk. What we're going to talk about mainly, guys, is workers' comp. Because you guys are living it every day, right? People are injured at work. You're collecting benefits. You're home. You're scared to death because you don't know, are my benefits not going to come anymore? People are closed. What's going to happen? And that's a problem. And it's a problem that you really don't want to have. So I prefer to talk, there's my stove, about workers' compensation first, throwing in the first dozen. About workers' compensation first, just so we can talk about your benefits and how they'd be affected. And I'm going to pull up a stool and we'll do that. All right? Firstly, workers' compensation has been affected. It's been significantly affected because for 2 weeks there were week and a half, there were no hearings. And what that did is it put everybody behind the 8 ball. Now, I will tell you, my hat goes off to Chairman Morelli. He's the chairman of Workers' Comp in Connecticut, because he put into motion telephonic hearings, and he did that early, and that was fantastic. So when the courts were closing, for third-party cases, Commissioner Morelli was like, "No way, we can't close workers' comp. People are not going to get their benefits." So everything's been telephonic, and other than the 2 days that they were closed, guys, it has been really, really fantastic. So to give you guys an idea, what's happening now is that the commission is scheduling hearings quicker, but they require you talk to defense counsel first, right? So if you're required to talk to defense counsel first, you have a better chance of working out your issues. And I can't tell you how many hearings I go to when we're in session, and defense counsel shows up, and I'm like, okay, what about, I couldn't reach you by phone or email, what happened? And they're like, oh, so sorry, I still haven't heard from my adjuster. Waste your time, waste my time. And honestly, it pisses you off, because now you're sitting here and you're like, is my case not important? And you as the clients are sitting there like, this is why I got a lawyer. We're sitting there like, we're going to move for attorney's fees and costs. And the respondent and the insurance company sitting there with their money in their pockets collecting interest because it's all invested in the banks. So this process, with the telephonics, are really making an impact, because it's forcing respondents counsel and claimants counsel, because there's some attorneys that are like that on the claimant side, to really look at their files and know their files prior to these hearings. And that is huge. If you represent yourself in a comp case, if you request your hearing, you need to obviously fax in your request, and you will get a hearing date probably within a couple of weeks. It's been moving pretty quickly. I think they can get through more of the telephonic hearings than they could the physical. What you're going to want to remember is any supporting documentation. Normally we would bring that to the hearing and show it to the commissioner. You need to fax that in with your hearing request, guys, all right? The commissioner is going to make a ruling based on what he or she has. So if you don't send in your supporting documents, you're not getting the support. It's not happening, and the commissioner is going to move your hearing out even further. So understand, supporting documents are key. All right. If you are one of the unfortunate people that got injured right before coronavirus came in, that sucks. It's terrible, because what's happening is insurance companies are not really being pushed to pay the benefits as quickly as some of you are learning. They will. You'll get your money, but unfortunately, those cases are the ones that are suffering the most. So filing a comp case, you guys all know, if you're injured at work, Form 30C. I've been asked by, again, healthcare workers. I know I've been exposed to somebody positive for CV-19. Do I have a comp case? I have to self-quarantine. I'm of the mindset and opinion to say, file a claim. What do you have to lose, right? What are they going to say? No? Okay, fine. Then we move on to the next option. But you're definitely going to want to file the claim if your employer doesn't want to work it out with you. It's worth it. Workers' comp in Connecticut is a substantial factor test, what it is. So what happens is you have to prove that it was a substantial factor in your injury occurring. Well, that's really hard to do, guys, okay? I mean, that would require nurses that see 100 patients a day to keep a log saying, okay, this person was positive, this person had this symptom, this person had that symptom. I mean, it's not practical. It's just not. So what we're doing, since we've never seen anything like CV-19 before, is I'm saying you should file a claim. If you think you've been exposed and then you're self-quarantining and your employer refused to pay you, you should file a claim. If you get CV-19 and you are one of these essential businesses or were exposed to somebody at work, file your claim. File. What do you have to lose? You're going to need a lawyer, though, guys. You're definitely going to need a lawyer. The thing is that lawyers aren't going to make much money on these cases. So you're going to find out the lawyers that do this for the passion or do this for the money really quick. Because, like I said, there's not a lot of money to be made on these files for the CV-19. So the other ways that comp has been affected by this COVID-19 business is doctor's appointments. People are calling me. I don't want to attend my CME. I don't want to attend my RME. Who am I, guys, to tell you to go to your doctor's appointments when I wouldn't even go to a doctor's appointment right now? That makes me crappy. I would never tell somebody to do that and not do it. So what that means is that you need to communicate. You need to tell your lawyer. If you don't have a lawyer, you need to tell your employer or your insurance adjuster or whatever. Say, look, I don't feel comfortable attending this right now. I don't feel comfortable with it, and I would like to attend once the CV-19 thing blows over a bit. And I wouldn't blame you. And the commissioners on the phone, I can speak for the many hearings I've had over the last couple of weeks, are saying, Brooke, if they file a 36, just obviously tell us that your client didn't want to go. We're not going to grant these things. So can I guarantee you that the commissioner's not going to grant it and have a bad day? No. But I can tell you the chances are very slim. Again, another reason to have a lawyer. What else can I tell you guys about the process? So we talked about work searches. If you are one of those unfortunate souls that have to do these light duty work searches, which I think are totally inhumane and disagree with, guess what? You don't have to do them right now, right? They're not gone indefinitely, but they're gone until further notice. So do not do any more work searches. Don't waste your time. I did a big hallelujah with that because I think it's just so demoralizing for clients when they have to do these stupid work searches. I cannot stand them and I hate them. Somebody making $60 an hour should not have to apply for a minimum wage job and get told no. Shouldn't have to do it. Okay, so an update on the cookies. So we put them in at 5:41. So they're going to be out in 3 minutes. Is there anything that firstly, does everybody have their wine? And if you do, you should post a picture of it. I think you can post it in the comments here. Because it's, like I said, it's 5:48 and it's Wednesday and we've been all homeschooling our children. So I think that a glass of wine for all of us is in the cards. And again, I hope all of you enjoy red wine because, like I said, a random person that's watching this is going to be gifted a bottle of red wine from yours truly, and I will have it shipped to your home. You'll just need your ID to sign for it, or you can go pick it up at like a Walgreens or something. They'll hold it for you. Does anybody want to hear about any particular topics in personal injury now? I know I talk a lot about it. I'm going to be live on WTNH to get the same discussion tomorrow as I just gave to you guys about COVID and workers' comp. But does anybody want to hear anything specifically? Any absolute specific questions that you have that you may want some guidance with? And somebody posted something. Dude, you're making brownies, Jake. They're not brownies. These are cookies. Brownies are dark brown. These are not. And secondly, when you see the cookies, you'll understand that these are not brownies. So anybody, and does anybody have any, so I'm going to do this once a week. I think it'll be fun. And you guys don't have to bring your wine too. Now you've been warned. Does anybody want to have any particular kinds of cookies that they love that they'd like me to make? I'm a big, I make a really good ginger cookie. They're fantastic. I don't know if you guys are into that. I make these really cool chocolate cookies, which are good. I pretty much make everything. So does anybody want to learn how to make any, or I can find a recipe and make you guys something new and we can make it together for the first time. Let's see. So enjoying this. You are a great teacher. You know, good, Pat. Thank you. I gotta tell you, I mean, until I had to homeschool my son, I was convinced myself that when, you know, I'm 65 or 70 and many years from now and I slow down on the law, I was going to teach a college class about personal injury and about just owning your own business and really kind of going after it. And after this homeschooling thing, I don't know, because I have to tell you, my son looked really bored. And the last thing, we all remember the classes in law school or the classes when I did my MBA that were the boring ones, not the ones that were the good ones, because, you know, they stick with you. I have to just walk up to you guys to read the comments. The cookies with raspberry centers. Yeah, so thumbprints are great. The thing with thumbprints is it's shortbread, right? So I will make them, no problem. This is my proposal for you guys. I think, does anybody else other than Sarah like ginger cookies? Because I have an amazing ginger cookie recipe. It's like, they stay for like, I don't know, a week and a half. They're fantastic. I also have a really good elephant ear recipe. It's made with phyllo dough. They're super easy to make, butter, sugar, cinnamon. I can make the thumbprints. I can totally do that if you guys are into it. If that's a preference. I always use raspberry jam because I much prefer it over any of the other flavors, but obviously you could use, you know, I'll use whatever you guys want me to do. I work for the state. Can I have my insurance taken out of my comp check? So here's the thing. Great question, Susan. It depends on your contract with the state. This is the thing with insurance and comp. My cookies are going to be out for a second, so let me grab those and I'll talk to you as I'm putting the marshmallows and stuff in there, okay? Hold on. So that's a great question, actually. It's a question a lot of people ask. Let me just grab my little hand here. So you're going to see these. You're going to literally be like, Brooke, they're not done. Don't take them out. So it's hard for me to give you guys a good angle, but they look like they're not done, right? Because they're not. Because you're going to take them out in like 4 minutes before they're actually done, and you're going to do this. So you're going to put, like I said, 3 marshmallows, 2 chocolates in them. They're going to feel raw in the middle. These marshmallows are going to sink right into them. You're going to be like, this woman's crazy. These aren't done. They're going to be raw, and I'm telling you, they're not going to be raw. All right, getting back to Susan's question. Susan, that is a great question. Depends on your contract with the state. So, guys, this goes for all comp cases. If your contract does not give you insurance and you have to pay a part of your premium, at any time, your employer can turn around and try to collect your part of the premium. Most employers don't know that. The state's smart, clearly, and they're desperate for money right now, I'm sure, but the states don't know that. So, the employers don't know that. So, for a lot of people, they'll never have to pay that out of their checks because comp doesn't catch on. It's a matter of hoping that comp doesn't realize that you are getting their insurance. By comp, I mean the employer, and then they'll just continue paying the premium and you'll be good to go. But yes, if they find out, Susan, if you're not under contract and they find out, they absolutely can take it out of your comp check. But usually usually they have you pay it separately. So I'd be interested to see what your contract said. So again, guys, 3 marshmallows, 2 pieces of chocolate. I space them out accordingly because I like them to be pretty. Bigger ones, like this one's a little bigger. You can put 3 pieces of chocolate in them. Works well. And again, guys, these smell awesome. I promise you. Not to sound like some weirdo on the Food Network, but I'm telling you, these smell amazing. And people actually come over and their kids request these because they're fun to look at. And they're also really awesome to eat. Especially with milk. Okay, so we're going to throw these in here. Smaller cookies get 2 pieces. Obviously, like I said, bigger ones you can afford to donate an extra piece of chocolate into. Bam. Okay. So then you're going to put them back in the oven. You're going to put them in for like 3 or 4 minutes. You don't want to burn them, but 3 or 4 minutes so that you can see. And this is what they look like, just so you guys can see. Let's see. And you're gonna wanna put them in for 3 or 4 minutes. So just so the marshmallows get like a little tiny brown on the top. When I say brown, guys, I even hate to use the word brown because I don't want you to burn them. You literally just put them in for such a short period of time so that they just get a teensy little, like, kind of when you put the marshmallow on the campfire and like those people that eat them and they're like only like tan colored, you're like, ew, that's the color you want them because it's gonna keep them a little hard on top so they don't stick. Is the recipe posted? I'm gonna post it, Samantha. So I have to tell you, many people have asked me for these and I never give my recipe out, but now I'm gonna do it because it's time. So I'm gonna show you guys the tips and the tricks and everything else. And I promise you, if you follow what I tell you to do in the recipe, you'll be happy. Let's see, somebody else wrote, if I ask them to. I want it to be automatic. No, not usually, Susan. It won't be automatic. No, you have to send in a check for it. So Susan's question is, can the state take her health insurance premiums out of her, continue to take her premiums out of her check when she's on comp? If it's for the portion that they're claiming they're not responsible for, typically they want you to mail in a check. So it's because comp comes from the insurance company, not the employer, and you're technically paying the employer for that. Okay, guys, so I've kind of talked your ear off a little bit about my life and personal injury and everything else. I can continue going on. I can talk to you guys about some more of that, or we can talk about what we want me to make next time. So my thoughts are maybe we do this Wednesday evenings. I think it's super fun. I like to bake, like I said, I cook as well. So my thought process is we bake some stuff and then I take some requests and then you guys tell me what you're into and then I'm happy to make it. A couple of these, my wife's really the chef in the house, so I might have her join me for a couple of these things and you guys can, we'll work together and make fun, easy meals that, and I make a great steak and it's so easy to make, guys, and I have to tell you, it's most people come over and they're like, oh my God, what did you do to the steak? I can show you all kinds of things because this is what I like to do when I'm not lawyering in a courtroom, right? So I'm thinking, my thoughts are, like I said, I could do ginger cookies or I can do the thumbprints next time. I do the elephant ears. I make a chocolate cookie, which actually does kind of look like a brownie. What else? I can make anything. So if you guys want to grab your glass of wine, I should say, and join me, every Wednesday, I can make something new. And if you guys want to see something in particular, let me know. And I hope you are really enjoying a glass of wine because it's actually amazing with a nice day today. So they're not ready yet. They're still white on the top. So, and the oven's on 350, guys, by the way. So you might want to, this will all be in the notes section. You have to excuse me if I'm coming across as a little, it's not unprepared is the word, but a little not Rachel Ray here. But it's my first time presenting and doing something like this, which I thought might be fun for all of us that are, that are home and we have a little more time. So you'll have to forgive me if it's a little less put together than you'd like to see it. Does anybody want to hear anything about or pick my brain about any legal issues or anything like that when we're waiting? I think we have a couple minutes here and then I'll throw in the next batch and we can chat again. So, or you can watch me drink wine. It's your choice. Let's see, hold on. I just got a couple messages. I'll take a look in a second. Oh, I'll ask if I ask them to. Okay, answer that question. All right, guys. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the process of a comp case. Okay, I'm going to talk about that for a couple of minutes. Then we're going to check our cookies and see what's going on in there. When you get hurt at work, you need to report it to your employer. I get asked this question all the time. This is not a secret. You need to report it to your employer. You need to report it when it's safe to do so. If you got hurt at work and you're bleeding or what have you, clearly get that taken care of first. It's not a secret though. Don't try to make it a secret. You have got to report it to your employer, okay? You tell your employer, this happened to me. I recommend at that point, after you've gotten your medical attention and you talk to your employer, you talk to a lawyer at least about your rights. This is not me trying to sell comp lawyers, guys. This is just about me saying, hey, look, you should absolutely talk to a comp attorney just to know what your rights are, right? The magic form in workers' comp is called a 30C. That is your notice of claim, all right? That 30C form is going to be your Bible for this file. It's going to be the map to lead you to the end. and the insurance company hasn't paid you money because they're going to try to say, hey, look, John Smith didn't file it, therefore we didn't know, and now we don't have to pay. And it's not something you want to run into. Next is you're going to want to request that your employer, if you don't get a lawyer, you're going to want to request your employer give you a 1A form. This is a form, you can get it online too, but your employer should provide it to you if you don't have a lawyer, where you mark down what your exemptions are and all these other things, your concurrent employment, because yes, if you have a second job, and I don't care if it's delivery, I don't care what you're doing, that concurrent employment gets tagged in to calculate your comp rate. Guys, so many people don't declare their concurrent employment. I don't care if you drive for Uber, I don't care what you do. That's employment, guys, right? That can add $200, $300, $400 to a comp rate. I have a gentleman right now, his comp rate on his normal job where he got hurt was 2 something. With his concurrent employment, it's 900. Huge difference. If you don't disclose it, nobody knows, and therefore we can't help you, all right? So that, and then you're gonna need your 52-week wage history so you can make sure you calculate it. So these are ready, you can pull them out, that you calculate it properly, all right? Because if you have your 1A form and then you have the 52-week wage history, you can then calculate that. All right. So these look awesome, by the way. I'm going to take the phone down from the tripod so you guys can see these. Let's see. Can I not flip it? I don't think I can flip it. But here, oh yeah, I can. Here we go. There you go. Oh, it won't let me rotate my phone. There you go. So literally, do you see the outside? So they're gonna look like they're gonna fall apart, right? They look like they're not done yet, but they are. Trust me when I tell you, they're gonna harden up because the graham cracker is gonna bind them together, and that's gonna work. So, bam. See? They look awesome. Trust me, these are the best tasting cookies ever. I'm telling you, I would not steer you wrong. They're the best. So when these are cooling on this real quick, we're going to go over here and I'm going to put these in. Okay. So here we are. So now you guys can see if I give you some angles. So see how like they're nice and brown around the edges? That's because the edges are going to get nice and crunchy, but the inside is going to be super moist and super awesome. I don't leave them on this that long because they continue to cook. What I do is, sorry to get anybody dizzy. What I do is I take them off as soon as I can get them off without them falling apart, which should be in the next couple of minutes here because they continue to cook on these hot pans and you don't want them to. Okay. So we'll give it a second. If somebody has a seizure at work, in the office, is that workers' comp related pre-existing condition? Unfortunately, no, probably not. They're going to argue that work did not contribute to the seizure at work. People bring these claims. They typically are not successful because it's a pre-existing condition. But I will tell you something else. Let's just say somebody, I don't know, played football, okay? And the football player was injured. Hold on, guys. There we go. Let's say somebody played football, right? And their football player was injured when they were 15 years old. They hurt their back. They had a 10% impairment rating. They were really messed up. Luckily, they're okay. And 10 years later, they get into a car accident, or excuse me, they get into a workers' comp injury. I don't know what happened. Let's say they fell at work and they re-injured their back. They then get a 3% impairment rating, right? Yeah, as long as the back injury, the doctor finds the exacerbation of the back injury is causally related to the comp case, the insurance company is not going to pay you the 3%. They're going to pay you 13%. They have to pay you for the as long as it's as long as it's a non-compensable injury prior, like the football injury, you can't sue anybody for that. It happens, then they have to buy the whole injury. And guys, that's disastrous for these insurance companies, and they know it. So but your question is a little different in that it's an actual pre-existing condition. And unfortunately, you're going to have a hard time. You would have a hard time with the seizure question on that. All right. So I'm pulling them off of the pan now. They, again, guys, are going to appear undone. I'm just telling you, they always do. Totally normal. That's what you want. That means you've made them right, and that means they're gonna be awesome when they're all done, because the graham cracker binds it together, so they harden up around the edges and they stay together. It's not gonna look like that, but I assure you that that's what happens. So here's the first dozen. I made a couple that are a little odd shapes, so just hold on. Okay, so here's they are. Bam. Oh, this Facebook not turning the camera thing is crazy. See? So these guys are amazing. Trust me when I tell you. And I'll break one apart when we're done with the other batch in there, but they're awesome. And see, so they're super soft when I touch them around the edges here. Boom, boom. See? So they're still super sensitive, but they're cooked, I assure you. And see how like the nice, like the marshmallows like all like nice and hot and pulled. See, it's just a little hard on the top. It's not sticking to my finger. See, that's exactly what you want. And then you get fun, and then you see the Hershey still stands out. My kid loves that. So, okay. So these are going to be cooling here. You obviously, I'm a big cleaner upper as you go, as I told you guys. So you throw this in the sink. All right. Okay. So now I taught everybody how to make my famous s'mores cookies. Now my staff at work is probably gonna be upset because I haven't given one of them the recipe, although they've asked me for the recipe several times. So I am going to do this every Wednesday. I'm going to continue making cookies, and I'm going to continue lecturing on workers' comp, personal injury, dog bites, slip and falls, and whatever else you guys want to hear about. I'm going to continue talking about the COVID crisis because it's real and it's affecting all of you guys in one way, shape, or form as far as your legal suits are concerned. And we will have a glass of vino together, and we will bake, and it's a great thing during a bad time. So this is the bottle of wine somebody's going to get. Well, not this one. I'll send you one. And I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. It's sometimes being a lawyer, people think everything has to be serious all the time. I think being personal and letting people get to know you a little bit outside of the superwoman cape and the suit is key. Watch WTNH in the morning, guys. I'm going to be on live with Teresa DeFore. We're going to be talking about some comp stuff. I know that's all I talk about. You're probably sick of it, but trust me, people hear these things, and it saves cases, it saves some people's lives at times, and it helps people make better decisions for them. So the cookies are going to be another maybe 3 minutes or so, and then I'm going to dress them up. But guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm happy you guys did, and I would love to do another one next Wednesday. So send me the kind you want to learn about. If I don't hear from anybody, I'm going to make ginger ones, or I may make something else. I may make something else. Let me see. I'll get creative. Okay, guys. Thanks a lot. Have a great night, and thank you for following. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it wasn't too corny for you. And yeah, make these. Tell me how they do. I want you to post pictures of them on Facebook. I am going to put the recipe on our website, on our Facebook page. Make these. Do these with kids. They're so fun, and I'm telling you, they're like the best cookie you're ever going to eat. And they are, Maggie. They're awesome. And guys, again, thanks. Take it easy. All right. Thank you.